Recently, Keir Starmer went through a political disaster that left the entire country shocked. In a live interview that should have been an opportunity to shine, he stumbled and made a fool of himself. What could cause a Prime Minister to easily collapse under such pressure? His incompetence in handling the situation suggests that he is likely floundering in a political quagmire without seeing a way out. Now, let's explore the reasons behind this misstep. But first, please like and subscribe so we can keep you updated on the hottest political news in the country.
And I think the first thing to say is, and to explain, is why we had to do it. We inherited a really damaged economy. We did an audit and we discovered an undisclosed £22 billion black hole this year.
In the context of the UK facing numerous challenges, the first question posed by reporters revolves around the $22 billion deficit, a staggering figure that leaves millions of citizens feeling frustrated. This event is not merely about a sum of money. It also symbolises poor management, and the public is eager to understand the reasons behind it. Under this pressure, Keir Starmer, who was once expected to bring a wave of innovation to the Labour Party, has failed to demonstrate the decisiveness the public anticipated. He has become flustered, dodging direct questions and creating a negative image in the eyes of the public. Reporters relentlessly pressed him, denying Starmer a moment to escape the trap he had set for himself. The image of a strong leader gradually faded as he faced sharp inquiries. This situation not only left him bewildered, but also raised doubts about his leadership abilities.
Would you like to take this opportunity to say sorry to pensioners like Chrissy?
Well, I am really concerned that we've been put in this position. When you inherit an economy with £22 billion missing, it is a really difficult set of choices.
The reporters then continued to pose an important question that many were concerned about during the interview. Will Keir Starmer apologise to citizens like Chrissy, who will face financial difficulties this winter? Chrissy is a retiree, representing millions of Brits who are struggling with the rising cost of living. After years of hard work in the healthcare sector, she now has to worry about finances in her retirement. Chrissy's story is not only a typical example, but also reflects the general situation many citizens are experiencing. Amid soaring prices for goods and skyrocketing costs for electricity and gas, many like Chrissy are forced to cut back on spending for essential daily needs, such as food and healthcare. She is not just an individual, she also symbolises the suffering that many in society are facing. When reporters mentioned Chrissy, they were not only referring to a name, but also calling on Keir Starmer to take responsibility for the policies he and the Labour Party have implemented. This was an opportunity for him to demonstrate empathy and leadership by acknowledging the hardships that people like Chrissy are enduring. However, when asked, Keir failed to provide a convincing answer. Instead of offering an apology or a commitment to support those like Chrissy, he continued to revert to the issue of the $22 billion deficit he was trying to justify. This action not only showed a lack of respect for the difficulties people are experiencing, but also raised significant questions about his leadership capabilities. The pressure from the reporters was mounting. They demanded a clear answer, a commitment, but Keir responded only with vague statements that offered no reassurance to those who have suffered the consequences of past missteps. This reaction further tarnished his image in the eyes of the public. Why is it that a leader cannot even offer the simplest apology to those affected by government decisions? This highlights that in the toughest times, people need strong leadership, empathy, and the ability to propose concrete solutions. The images of Chrissy and other citizens are not just statistics. They are real human beings facing challenges in their daily lives. Keir Starmer's response was not just an evasion of responsibility, but also a significant failure to demonstrate the social responsibility that a leader needs to possess. What is most concerning is Keir Starmer's lack of steadfastness and his ability to dodge direct questions. Public opinion has begun to strongly criticise his leadership capabilities. In times of crisis, People need a solid leader who can confront difficult issues and find reasonable solutions. However, what Keir demonstrated in the interview was entirely contrary to these expectations. The pressure from reporters and public opinion continued to escalate, creating a tense confrontation. The image of a powerful politician is gradually fading, and his shortcomings in answering questions only intensify doubts about his leadership abilities. People are seeking a leader capable of making the right decisions during this challenging time, and Keir's inability to do so only adds to their disappointment. The tense moments as Keir Starmer attempted to explain himself without providing satisfactory answers left a lasting impression on viewers. His stammering speech, circuitous presentation, and obvious discomfort created uncertainty about his capabilities. Instead of courageously addressing the issue, he shifted blame onto the previous government and the current economic difficulties. This is not the style of leadership the public expects. This manner of responding only reinforced the perception that he lacks the ability to lead. A leader must be strong, capable of admitting mistakes and offering solutions rather than merely placing blame on others. His public image has deteriorated, and people are beginning to question whether he has the capacity to lead the Labour Party. The moment of failure came when the interviewer pointed out the mistakes regarding the early release of prisoners by the Labour Party. Let us consider that nearly 40 inmates, including some dangerous criminals, were inadvertently released under the controversial early release programme implemented by the Labour Party. You would think this would be a topic where Keir could at least provide some reassurance, right? But no. Instead, he fumbled in his response, just as before, offering vague justifications about fixing a broken system and the difficult decisions that must be made. Now, things became interesting. The interviewer, clearly sensing Keir was in a tight spot, pressed further, asking how the Labour Party could allow criminals to be released. You could feel the tension rising as Keir began to flounder. Rather than admitting failure or providing a clear explanation, he reverted to his familiar script, blaming and dodging. He mumbled about inheriting a broken system and that the Labour Party had no choice but to make difficult decisions. But will the public accept this, especially when people's safety is at stake? The issue here is that Keir not only appeared inadequate, he looked like a man unable to control the situation. Instead of reassuring the public that the Labour Party has a plan to rectify everything, he seemed completely out of control during the interview, not to mention the issue itself. The more he spoke, the less convincing he became. At this point in the interview, it was clear he had lost the little credibility he had left. After watching that interview, it's hard not to wonder, how much longer can Keir Starmer maintain this? I mean, every time he faces a tough interviewer, it's the same story. He stumbles, stammers, and evades basic questions. The interview has left a profound impact on Keir Starmer. This failure has not only raised questions about his leadership abilities, but also generated significant doubts among the public regarding his capacity to lead the Labour Party. The future of Keir Starmer is now a big question mark. Can he overcome this crisis and regain the trust of the public? Or will he continue to sink deeper into failure? Finally, I invite you to share your views on this interview and the future of Keir Starmer. Do you think he can navigate through this challenging period? Please leave your comments below this video. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next videos.